We are recording. For everyone who can't get here, welcome to Let's Create Tuesday. Good to see you.
Whoa. Yeah.
Exciting. Welcome back. Holiday edition. Fantastic. We've got something interesting and fun planned. What's going on? So Let's Create Tuesday, a place we come together to be creative, to touch into our heart and soul, to take a moment out of the world. We said, hey, what's the best day of the week to do this? Tuesday, of course, and we'll come to your part in a moment. My name is Hruby. I'm an author and a coach. I've been doing this since 2005, helping people create more of what they really want. And that's what Let's Create Tuesday is all about. And really doing it over and over again so we create that creative habit. Because then we just brush our teeth, we write, we paint, we dance, we sing, and our lives are like a fairy tale, and it's awesome. So here we go. So this is the part of the show where I ask everyone to unmute for a moment. And I'm going to ask you, I'm going to talk about what's the best day of the week. Some people say it's Friday. Some people say it's Wednesday because it's middle of the week. Some people it's Sunday. But you know what? I've been thinking about it, and I just want to check in with you guys. What's the best day of the week?
Tuesday.
Excellent. Love it. All right. So so we're going to talk about this. This is interesting. I even got notes. I drew up some notes. Let me just refresh really quick. So here's the thing. So there's a difference that we're going to talk about today of plans, goals, steps, and possibly having someone hold accountable. And then the difference and contrasting that with eagerly anticipating. So because there's, so if I eagerly anticipate something, such as going on vacation, going to Disneyland, going on a date with someone I like, doing anything that I want to do, right? I don't necessarily have to create a whole plan and steps and have someone hold me accountable. Now I may create a list, right? Especially with numerous steps to just so I remember everything, but there's not something like, you know, I really need to do this or have someone make me do something or make myself do something because I keep thinking about it and the vision, and here's the big difference with eagerly anticipate. The vision I have of this event is that it's going well, it's going to be fun, I'm going to be successful, right? So we can show that up here. So this would be like a positive vision. So if I have positive vision, I eagerly anticipate it, such as my 17-year-old son just got into a couple colleges, right? So now he's eagerly anticipating it. And, you know, then he's going to be talking about what kind of bags do I need? Do I need different types of clothes? What do I have? I mean, we'll mention things that he might not think of, but it's not like we have to keep forcing him to get ready and to think about it if he is actually looking forward to it, right? So he's eagerly anticipating. The other option, and sometimes people do this with creativity, and that's what we're here talking about. So the other option is, sorry, there we go, is holding a vision that is not pleasant, not fun, not going to be easy, and I'm most likely not going to be successful at. Okay, so that can be anything from getting in shape, being financially successful, doing my creative project. So there's the thing is if I'm holding this vision and this thought that it's not going to go so well, but then I want to do it anyway, this is where the conflict comes in. Then I'll start making steps, and I'll ask someone to hold me accountable, and I'll have to set up goals and milestones, because there's a part of me, now all of these can be useful. You know, we can still use these, especially, like I said, on a really big project, right? That's going to take you a while. But this is, but people often go, okay, I don't really want to do this thing, or I don't really think it's going to happen, or it's going to be really hard, or it's going to be really unpleasant when I try to go for this goal. So I'm going to try and make myself do it, right? With the steps, the goals, the milestones, having someone hold me accountable. So the way we can shift that and and really embrace this eagerly anticipate.
Can't see the board really.
Can I really say it very again?
Thank you.
Oh yeah, thank you. So there you go. So this is eagerly anticipate, right? And then this is something that we're not jazzed about. So the way we shift that is taking a moment to slow down to do the vision work. So for example, in April 2019, on some weird whim, I did a 5-day fast, right? A whole bunch of my friends were doing it. I have this policy or this guideline with myself of being like a different person every 6 months, right? So I always want to try to do something different, something outside my comfort zone, something I just never really thought of. So everyone's doing this 5-day fast. I'm like, all right, supposedly it realigns your metabolism and all that stuff. So I give it a shot. So on day 4.5, relatively hungry, but I go to bed that night and I can breathe out of both my nostrils. And to you guys, that might be pretty normal, right? But up to my life up to that point, I was only breathing like out of one side. It was all clogged up. Thought it was allergies, got tested, just decades of pure joy. But it was so then I go on this fast and I can breathe, and all of a sudden I realize it's all the processed food and all the sugar and probably all the wheat I had been eating, right? So now when I go to look at all this different type of stuff, my vision, my awesome, excited vision of breathing far outweighs me eating any of this other food. Do you know what I'm saying? Like it's just like, and so then and recently the last couple of years I've been going for a walk in the morning. I do a little bit of a workout, and I'm just feeling healthier and stronger. So now it's I also do it in small steps. I've learned that works well for me. Encourage that with everyone. So what I'm saying is I don't necessarily have a chart or a goal to eat a certain way or to exercise a certain amount, but I'm tapping into more and more of this understanding, this realization of how good it feels. And then that calls me into action or not action, not doing something, right? So I don't need anyone to tell me. And because it's so rooted in. And so same with the writing, right? And so that's where you guys are getting to play with this more and more as you create more and have fun more, and open up to that possibility that it's okay to have fun, to be creative and allow it. Then you're able to have that vision. And I would say the what we're talking about today and now, the opportunity is to make it bigger. So if you're doing a book, see 10 people enjoying it, like really enjoying it. And then when that feels okay, see 100 people, see 1,000, see if the New York Times bestseller list is too big, and that's fine, see 50 people. Do you know what I mean? But like not just buying it, but like really enjoying it. Like, oh my gosh, this is so funny, or this is so touching, or this is so meaningful. If it's guitar, if it's an instrument, just see you playing with your family or whoever that might be and having fun. If it's painting or whatever that is, the vision that we can create and the joy that we can see ourselves doing, well, then that will pull us into action, but not in a way that I have to force myself, but it just makes total common sense. And by all means, we can use other people. For example, I just finished 9 chapters of the second book of Sand Sharks on Spring Break, and I got it to someone. Yay. I know. I keep telling myself, slow down, celebrate, be happy, right? And so, but I had someone who said they would read it, they want to become an editor. And so I made this arrangement like 6 weeks ago, right? And this last week, because I saw the vision of it, I wrote, I don't know, 3 or 4 extra hours to meet that timeline deadline, right? So by all means, use those things, right? I knew a screenwriter or screenwriters that I used to work with would just randomly pick some contest 6 months out, pay $120, right? Register for the contest. And all of a sudden they were like, oh my gosh, I just paid money. I got to start writing, right? So, and I have a friend who's wanted to get in shape, so he joined a runners group, right? They don't run together, but every day they log their miles. And he's competitive and he's having fun in that way. So by all means, yes, use other people, use all that whatever works, whatever helps motivate and keeps you engaged. But the idea is if he was running and every day he kept saying, running sucks, I hate running, it'll never work, then that would be the conflict instead of going, oh my gosh, it's going to be so fun to do a 3K race and run with so many people when this whole COVID thing is over. You know what I'm saying? So create that positive vision. And if you're attempting to do something, if I'm attempting to do something and I'm not feeling motivated by, then that's a time to slow down and go, one, maybe I shouldn't do it. Or two, if I still really want to do it, or I think it's a good idea, how can I create this more positive vision, right? Either for myself or engaging with other people. So, it's like possibly going to a family reunion where you're not excited to go. Switch that around. Who are the few people you want to really go see? Who do you really want to connect with? Same with like going on a vacation, even going to Disneyland. Sometimes not jazzed about it with the family, but then go on the website, find the 2 or 3 rides that I'm really excited about. Then I'm like, all right, let's go. We're going to have fun and hold that vision and go for that. Cool. Anybody got any questions or any thoughts about that? All right. Well, we'll get into the creating, and then I know some people have some questions afterwards, and we'll embrace that. Super. So this is the time. So we take a moment and we acknowledge each other, and we say, "You're awesome. You're fantastic. You're amazing. It's really great to see you." Go ahead and see that and say that inside, and then also accept it. Right? Accept it. Accept. Maybe breathe in deeply. That's awesome. Great to see you all. You're amazing. All right. I'll keep track of the time, and we'll see you today. We're actually going to do 40 minutes because we've got time. So sometimes we've been doing it for usually 30, 33 minutes, sometimes 35. So if you just get that internal clock, like, oh, so just take a breath, do a couple more minutes, and I'll call you back. All right. Have fun.
Okay, well, mine, it was just a fear of mine that comes up when I'm writing, and that is that I'm going to run out of what happens next. And it's sort of like I know where I want to go, and I sort of have an outline of how to get there. But I have to keep myself and who's ever reading it entertained in the meantime, so I have to.
Yeah. So, but first, can I share the win, or do you want to? What?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, you shared the first one that you finished the first chapter of your book.
Yes, I finished.
So that's excellent. That's excellent.
Chapter 2.
Right. And
Thanks.
then but just to be clear then, so your concern was like, that was great, I'm having fun, but I'm concerned I might run out of ideas, or I'm not sure if it's going to keep flowing.
Yeah.
Is that how you might say it?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever gone on a hike before?
Sure.
You've gone on some hikes, right? So when you start the hike, do you ever go, oh man, in about 27 minutes, I'm not sure if I'm going to step over the root or if I'm going to go around that rock, or, if like, right? So I imagine you don't, right? So you just take the next step, and then when you get to that 27-minute mark in the trail, you see what's available and what makes sense, and then you do it. So that's one thing that may be a little helpful. The second thing that is definitely I found helpful with people is really remember that it's your first draft, right? So that can oftentimes, I don't know what it does for you, but often when people think about the first draft, it relaxes them. So it lets you take a few risks, right? So because if it doesn't work out, then you can change it, right? And so working with writers about intuition and creativity, then you can just go with your intuition and see if it works out and see what comes out, which I imagine you've been kind of doing. How did you hear all that? Is that useful, or?
Yeah, there's definitely things that I can use there to keep me going.
Yeah,
I like uh, the vision of the person taking a hike,
right.
and it's like, hey, I better keep going or I'll run out of water.
Right. Yeah. But and you can also look at it as and you and Andre are together, right?
Yeah,
And so how many years have you been together? About
almost 30. Yeah, it'll be almost 30 in
right. So
July.
so when you first started dating, did you ever go, man, when we hit that 19-year mark, I'm not sure how our relationship is going to be. I better prepare for the 19-year mark now before I even start the relationship, right? Or oh my gosh, 27 years. Oh wow. So so that's typically though a lot of people. I mean, some people that are doing creative projects, they do that. They get concerned and they try to see the whole thing, and I get the whole thing is an outline sort of, right?
Hmm.
But then they get it's sort of like this it's sort of like going on a hike, right? Or even a relationship. You'd sort of know the hike, right? I mean, we're going for a 1 hour hike, or we're going to the waterfall, or we're going to the top of the mountain, right? So that's your outline, right? And so you have an outline and a direction, but you don't know every squirrel you're going to see. You don't know if you're going to stop and see a cool tree. You don't know if you're going to, pause to whatever, and to know every single one of those things beforehand, some people would argue would actually make the journey boring because there would be no ahas. There'd be no, oh my gosh, this, that. So there's this fine balance always of sort of seeing the whole thing, knowing where I'm going, but at the same time slowing down enough to only look here. I don't know if you can see that. See the thing, the problem is when people try to have this whole vision all the time, and then they're trying to hold too much in their head. They're trying to figure it all out, everything. So the thing is, when you're going on the hike, you just want to look here. And then when you get to this point, then you're looking here. Then you're looking here. You know what I mean? And then at some point, the first draft's done. Then you can look at the whole thing.
That sounds right.
Yeah, cool. Is that helpful? That's
Hmm.
excellent. Nice work. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. Excellent. Anyone else have a question or something they'd like to share, either about that or whatever's going on? Go ahead, Patty.
I just wanted to say that that whole concept of just taking the next step has absolutely changed a lot of my life. My brother passed away about a month ago,
Mhm.
and while in the process, he was in a hospice, and in the process of his dying, it was easy for my sisters and I to spiral. Okay, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? And I just said, look, we don't have to have the answers, just that next step. So it's interesting how some of the lessons you have taught in creativity have really transcended profoundly into other parts of life when it was incredibly helpful. So I like that whole thing that we don't have to have the answers, or this is the other one, preparatory disappointment.
Interesting. Say more about that. Preparatory.
Well, just that I sometimes get the illusion that if I practice that disappointment and prepare for the potential disappointment, it won't be so bad, which is, so now I'm spending energy preparing my disappointment. And then when I look back, I'm like, that ain't right. That ain't right. But
She's ready to start dating.
oh my gosh. It's that illusion of control, that illusion if we prepare for whatever bad's going to happen now, it won't. We can't because we're ready.
Yeah. Yes. Excellent. Yeah. No. Yes. That's fantastic. Yeah, you're exactly right. The just deal with what is at the moment, and 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 every once in a while you can glance up, right, and get a little
Right,
further down
right.
and or get the overall. But yeah, the idea of trying to plan for everything is and also it's a great way to really not enjoy the present moment. And also,
Thank you.
yeah, and also I think with creating, I think it's actually just missing the creative opportunities in the moment. Like if I'm
Right.
constantly thinking about the end of the book, then I'm missing the little nuance. Chevy just said this, and all of a sudden, oh, Sweetie can come back with this, and that ties in with this, and I would miss that if I keep focusing all the way off the screen down there. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Nice. Nice. Thanks for sharing. Cool. Who else has something? Good news, question, something going on? Something you just heard?
John,
Yes, go ahead.
if you do get an idea about the end of the book, what I've been doing is I've been just making a note of it and come back to it later.
Yes, no, yes, totally great. And I appreciate you saying that. Yes, I do that, especially with this book. I have at least 20 little things that I've have ideas, and now they're slowly coming together in order. At first I didn't. They were all these individual conversations, and I was like, oh man, I hope they come together somehow. And now when I've hit a certain point of the book, now all of a sudden I'm starting to see the patch quilt linear progression. Not all of them yet, but enough to know that now I'm moving more into trust and it's all good. Now it's more of an adventure rather than worry. I think that's how we can tell when we're being creative and positive. It's an adventure, even in a marriage, even on a hike. But if I'm moving into worry, then I'm trying to either figure everything out or I don't have a really wonderful possible vision. Cool.
Thank you for whatever that description was. Because and I've hit on it a few times where, and I've talked about it, where I'm finding all these drawings and paintings from years ago, and they're all it's like finding a thousand-piece puzzle that was scattered all over my house. Like, and I found a piece here and there, and I forget that and it's kind of hard to shut that part of my mind up that wants to know what the friggin' thing looks like, like where's the box with the picture on it so I can put this, like I can't do it anyway. Like I go into that, but also the adventure, because when I got forced transferred up to Los Prados Boys Camp to work with gangsters and drug addicts, and I was a bit intimidated at the time. I didn't know I was full of it, but the other therapist, as she said goodbye to me that first day, she said, it's an adventure. And it was definitely an adventure. And I think that's a great, I need to maybe write up a bit of a vision of the adventure of putting this puzzle piece together. Or I feel like I'm already doing that, just as you were talking. I'm like, okay, I'm going to reframe this, what I'm doing, because I don't want to put pressure on it, because the joy will go out of it.
Right. And that's right. And you're right. The word choice that can possibly assist you more, right, is the adventure is awesome. And I wonder
and I wonder is like, when I really have hung on to that. I love, somebody will say something, I'll think, I wonder what will happen then. I wonder what I'm going to do then. I have no idea.
Yeah. I wonder how that piece will fit.
And adventure is full of wonder. Yeah. Thank you.
That's awesome. Cool. Someone playing the piano, which is totally fine, but just mute yourself. Cool.
Oh, I think that was my music in the background.
Oh,
I forgot it was on. Yes, that was me playing the piano.
Okay. I was like, what? That's excellent. That is great. So yes, right. So shifting from, because you're right, the logical mind, which is awesome because the logical mind is very useful, but will sometimes try and figure out or see something that can't be seen yet, right? Or every sentence or every paragraph or every scene of a story, or how the painting is really going to look, or whatever. And so then the logical mind then can go to I can't, or it won't work. And the only bummer part about that is that can make us not feel good, and then it also slows down the flow of creativity,
Well,
and
and
then
it's being comfortable in the not knowing.
yes,
There's a term for it, which
yeah,
escapes me, but it's when I get uncomfortable with the ambiguity or the not knowing, then I want to shut it down. It's like, okay, which can lead to the addictive patterns.
right. Well, yes, because I want to feel better.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
once I shut down the creativity, well, whether it be my project or my life, creating my
Yeah.
life, then I don't feel good. And if I don't feel good, I want to feel good.
Yeah.
So right. So if I'm able to say, oh, I trust this process. Oh, I wonder what's going to happen. Oh, this is part of the adventure. Oh, I may not know what's going to happen exactly there, but I do kind of know what's going to happen here. And I'm just going to take the next step and
Yeah.
write the next sentence. And sometimes for me, it's write the next word, even if I don't know exactly. And then all of a sudden things click. And then sometimes I see a little bit further down the road, which is comforting, right? But then sometimes I only see the next couple sentences. And
Well, and I have all these little notes and I have the painting. Like, is there any way to kind of contain them and organize them that which insinuates control? Um,
well, could be. No, but I mean, I don't, or I mean, some people get a huge bulletin board. Some people would use a whole wall, paste them
Okay.
all up on a wall. I mean,
Okay.
writers, I mean, there's writers do post-its or index cards, because sometimes you're right. It's helpful, not always,
Yeah, I'm
but to
very
see,
visual.
to
Yeah.
find, and then they color code, like when I did Sand Sharks on Spring Break, I broke it out into 28 boxes because I figured there's about 28 chapters. And then I color coded the boxes where the sharks are going to attack, like every 3 or 4.
Yeah.
It's already changed somewhat, but when I did that, it just helped me, get an overall view that worked.
When I think the puzzle, I need a visual. I'm a visual
Yeah.
artist, and I need to be able to see some kind of, even if I move them around, I just
Yeah.
need to see
Yeah.
something.
You could lay them, some people lay it all out on the floor, right? They take the bedroom floor, spare room floor, and they just literally lay out, sheets and sheets of paper and everything so they can, but yeah. So, but the key always is to remember that, or at least the key that I find very helpful is do what you need to do, but not more. Right? So if you don't need to get a file folder and color index and do a label file maker with these, if you don't need to do that, then don't do it, right? And then if you do need to lay them out, or then do it. But be flexible enough in that approach, because sometimes people go, oh, well, then I need to do this, and then they spend hours and energy and they think they're, but if you need to do it, then do it. If you don't.
Yeah, no, been there, done that, and don't want to do it again. So yeah.
Super.
Thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome. Nice. Super. Somebody else have a question or want to share something and jump in? Go ahead, Allison. What's happening?
Hey.
Hey.
So that was great. That was a great and productive use of time.
Tell me about it.
I did a drawing that I liked, that I thought was funny and made me happy. And then I've been procrastinating. I wanted to write this a letter of recommendation for a young woman who's applying to the college I went to. And so I just wrote it.
Nice.
Yeah. Felt creative, and it felt like, it just felt like, here's my time.
Mm-hmm.
I get to utilize this time. So thank you. That was great.
You're welcome. Nice work.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. Excellent. All right. Somebody else got something else to share? Question?
I just wanted to comment that I do have this primordial ordering principle that my mind wants answers and my body wants comfort. and it will go through any machinations to do that, including, uh, and this pulls me away. And I know for a fact that if I do know the answer, there's a good chance that it's the same crap that I've been doing before, and I'm not exploring any new territory. So if I am comfortable with it, I should probably throw it in the trash.
Sure. Okay. What I'm hearing you say, right. Comfortable meaning like, right. You're not learning anything new if you're comfortable because you already know it.
Right. There has to be a certain amount of, I don't know what's going to happen. Ha 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 ha.
Yeah.
Or it just becomes,
Right. Writing the same thing, doing the same thing, painting the same thing.
Right.
Right. Playing the same note on the piano or the same chord. Like, I mean, if I knew the C chords really great, playing the same C chords over and over again is not going to get me anywhere at some point. Right.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying? So
yes, I am.
So what have you so what are you doing to break out of that? It's because your pictures look like they do push the envelope, or you're stretching or growing or trying things.
Yeah,
So
it's exactly that. I have to have that feeling like, uh-oh, I don't know how this is going to turn out, and I don't know what I'm going for, and and to be okay with it.
right.
And to have, I think the word that she was looking for was some equanimity. That whether it's good or who knows whether it's good or bad. That's at the point of creation.
Mm-hmm.
Those terms are meaningless because all the judgment stuff is not part of creativity. It happens in a different part of the brain.
Yeah.
You can't judge and be judgmental and creative at the same time.
Right. You're just creating. But speaking about the whole, what you were saying before, there's a group online called Yes Theory. It's a group of young men, I think late 20s, early 30s, and they just make videos about being more and living more and stretching ourselves and expanding ourselves. And one of them has a whole t-shirt line that it's seek discomfort. And their whole thing is that's what they want to do every day. They want to seek discomfort because that means they're growing, they're learning. So
They're getting out of their comfort zone.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is uncomfortable and creative.
Right. Right. And I think we're all getting to this point. See, if we keep saying, because we are masters of our universe. So if I say today's a good day, it is a good day. Right. So whatever I declare, it is. So if I keep, one of the opportunities I think we have, and when I work with people, is instead of keep saying, I need to be uncomfortable, or I need to not know what's going on, or I feel, the shift can be of, oh, I'm getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. Oh, this is becoming the new normal. And then that's when we slightly turn it from panic or confusion to excitement and adventure. Because if we're really on adventure, what all being on adventure means is we're going somewhere and we don't know what's going to happen. We haven't been there. And some people could do that and be horrified, or some people can go on adventure and it's fun or it's interesting. Even if there is a snake around the next corner, it's more on an excitement level than a panic level, right? So that's where I hear everything you're saying, and the more we can keep saying is adventure or wonder or something like that, then that can help us. It helps us relax ourselves and the part that wants to know and going, oh no, we're moving into trust. We got this. We've done this enough times now that it's most likely going to turn out good. And even if it doesn't, it's not going to be terrible. Nothing bad's going to happen. So let's just give it a whirl. Cool. All right. Eric, can I ask you one question about the whole, you said the mind often wants to know what's going to happen and the body wants comfort.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Can I say one thing about the comfort thing that may be helpful and may not be?
Yes.
Yeah. It's That's 100% true. I totally agree with that. And I think, just from my experience and the people I've worked with, the body can slowly be trained to redefine comfort.
Oh, I love that. Thank you.
Yeah,
I
because
love that idea. Yeah.
because now that and when I say working out, that is way more than what I do. So that's a big word. Okay, so I'm not putting myself on any sort of pedestal. If I stepped onto a pedestal, that would be the workout, right? So I'm not doing that. But what I'm saying is, now that I'm going walking almost every morning for 20 minutes, and then sometimes at night for 15 or 20, and I'm doing a small amount of working out, that's my new level of feeling good, feeling comfortable. And so there's a shift in that, um, that then it becomes really obvious when I don't do that, and then that doesn't feel good, and I don't feel comfortable. So just for your consideration, as you start new habits, as you do a little bit more, whatever you do, whatever you're choosing, the possibility that I work with people is to slow down and go, does that really feel good? Or is this old stuff really feel good? And then get clearer and clearer. And then sometimes it's easier to make choices to really go in a direction that feels good, the real good, as opposed to just the comfort in the moment. For your consideration.
Great.
Cool.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Have
yeah.
a great evening.
Yeah,
Come
sure.
on.
All right, everybody. That was fantastic. Good seeing you. Happy holidays, light, and we'll see you next Tuesday. Goodbye.